Welcome back, everyone. The second meeting of the season between Edmonton and St. Louis. Let's meet the starting goaltenders, brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official copy of the NHL. For the first time this season, Ilya Bryzgalov will start his third straight game. Just one regulation loss in his last 5. He has beaten St. Louis 6 times in his career. And at the other end, 28-year-old Brian Elliott has won his last 6 and was named the NHL's second star of the week. He went 3-0 with a 1.00 goals against and a .962 save percentage. The Oilers looking for a little revenge. The last time these teams met, December 21st, the Oilers lost that game by the score of 6-0. But what they did do, Louis, against the St. Louis Blues was have a good first period.
They really did. They came out and outshot St. Louis 14-5 in that first period back on December 21st, Kevin, and then they kind of got away from the game plan, the words from Dallas Eakins, the head coach of Edmonton, and allowed the St. Louis Blues to do what they do best, and that's score goals.
St. Louis Blues have won 5 straight games, their latest coming Saturday night when they beat Columbus at home by the score of 6-2, the third time that they have scored 6 goals, 5 on 5. When we normally think of the St. Louis Blues, we think of an excellent defensive team. They are that, but this is a team that is second in the league in goals for per game. They're almost scoring 3.5.
Well, you know, it really does stem from the defense. When you look at the St. Louis Blues under Ken Hitchcock, he really does preach that system, that, you know, 5-man unit all over the ice. And from that, they're going to create offense. And they have the bodies, the size to really grind you down low in the offensive zone. And that's really where they make you pay.
And they're missing their top goal getter in Alex Steen, who was injured in the game December 21st after a hit from David Perron, the former St. Louis Blue. He has been out since then with a concussion. He has 24 goals on the season. That puck hit the side of the net. He will be going to the Olympics, though. He and Patrick Berglund both named for the Swedish team.
Yeah, I guess Alex Steen has been skating with the team a little bit here as of recent times.
Tarasenko almost intercepted that. Pietrangelo able to keep that puck in. He will give it to Zabotka. Zabotka with a shot deflected wide. Louis, right now, everybody on the ice for the St. Louis Blues is going to the Olympics. Pietrangelo, his shot deflected in front by Berglund. Berglund knocked the stick out of the hand of Martin Marincin. Here is Berglund. Fires a blast, and wisely, Bryzgalov hangs onto it as we take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by the 2013 Ford Super Duty. It's built Ford tough.
Well, we saw a little taste of it right there. And for the Edmonton Oilers, Kevin, it's quick outs. Get the puck out of the zone as quickly as possible. Good options the forwards have to create for the defense to get, or off the glass. If you get hemmed in, you see how the St. Louis Blues can cycle it down low. And for the Blues, don't wait in. They had a bad first period. The last time out versus the Edmonton Oilers, it could have been a lot different, as Ken Hitchcock said this morning, if there would have been 2 or 3 goals scored by Edmonton. Don't allow them to do that. Get into this one earlier.
And they fell behind 2-0 in that game Saturday against Columbus before they woke up and scored a half a dozen. They are their best first half in team history. They're 29-7-5 coming into this one.
Stewart Groundhog Day for Edmonton.
Remember what Stewart did the last time he was here? He had a hat trick. Derek Roy behind the net. Here is Derek Roy. Circles, throws it out in front, and a good defensive play there by the youngster, Brad Hunt, playing in his second game here at Rexall, third game in the National Hockey League.
A lot of poise in front of this goaltender, 5 feet away. That net was wide open as it was reacted to coming across.
Shattenkirk takes a hit from Pietrangelo as he gets it to Barrett Jackman, sends it around the board. Stewart tips it out to center. Should also mention that the referees Brad Meyer and Ian Walsh are also going to the Olympics, and Mark Wheeler, one of the linesmen, will be headed to Sochi as well, so congratulations to them. Trying to get it out is Morrow. Morrow, Lapierre, and Reeves on the 4th line. Arcabello, Gazdic, and Jones. And congratulations to Ryan Jones.
Him and his wife, Jamie. Jamie, the birth of their first child, a son.
Reeves bangs away. There's an opportunity. What a save by Bryzgalov as he came across and robbed Jordan Leopold. Leopold and Cole keep it in at the blue line. Gazdic battles to try and get up. There's a shot by Lapierre, gobbled up by Bryzgalov, and he'll hang on to it. Starting lineups brought to you by Boston Pizza, your hockey headquarters destination. And no changes for either team. I guess the only thing is that the former Edmonton owner, Magnus Bjarvi, moves up a line.
A little shuffle, and that's been something that Ken Hitchcock has done a little bit this year, is shuffle the lines a little bit, tweak it. For Bjarvi getting a little chance in the third line with Roy and Stewart tonight.
Backus wins the draw. Cole puts it to the corner, comes right out in front. There's Roy Gordon to get it to Alashemsky. As we mentioned off the top of the show, Alashemsky going to his second Olympic Games. Won a bronze medal in 2006. Did not play in Vancouver because of a shoulder injury. Backus to Oshie. Two guys who are going to make their first Olympic appearance. Jaden Schwartz gets knocked down. Boyd Gordon sends it around the boards. Ryan Smith waiting for it there. Smith gets tied up by Cole. The other side is open now for Hemsky, and he does get it down the ice. And he took a hard hit from Jaden Schwartz. Schwartz is one hot blue. He's coming into this game on an 8-game point streak.
Yeah, pretty impressive. 7 goals in that stretch too, Kevin, and just really has found a home in that top line with David Backus and TJ Oshie right now.
Sabotka on the turnover. Stolen away from David Perron. Put it behind the net. Sabotka works out in front. Tarasenko with a shot that goes wide. Omister keeps it in for Berglund. Berglund, Sabotka, and Tarasenko. The forward line now putting on pressure. Vladimir Sabotka leaves it there for Vladimir Tarasenko. Tarasenko. Drop pass for Berglund. Leaves it for Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo throws it in front. Check there. Created by Sabotka. Back to the point it comes. Tarasenko filling in that spot for Pietrangelo. Has the puck now. Pietrangelo to Berglund. Berglund cross-ice pass. Good defensive play there by Gagne. Broke up a pass and then blocked. A pass and a shot. Pietrangelo goes to the far corner. The Blues with all kinds of pressure now.
Mercy.
Berglund circles at the blue line. Here's Sabotka with a shot. Didn't make it through. It hit Omister. And it's sent down the ice. The owners will get a much-needed change and get their top line out there as soon as possible as that puck goes out of play.
Impressive cycle down low.
This perfectly preserved uniform came to us via a generous donation from our champion's wife.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
Well, the St. Louis Blues, Kevin, a physical team. Not all the big guys either, as Jaden Schwartz, the smallest guy in St. Louis, finishing his check hard on Hemsky. And that's just the system that they buy into, playing a physical brand of hockey.
He is 5'10", 21-year-old. Schwartz shifts it ahead for Oshie. Oshie circles the net. Backus doesn't get the shot away, but goes behind the net with it, trying to get away from Hunt. Here's his play to Oshie. Oshie cycled to Schwartz. Schwartz with a little spinorama move. Oshie behind the net. Oshie walks out in front, plays it back to the point. Shattenkirk steps into a shot. Good save by Brizgalov. Hall almost sprung there by Eberle. Just went over his stick. Taylor Hall trying to put the disappointment behind him. But don't forget, Louis, there's a taxi squad. If guys get hurt in the next month, Taylor Hall could get the call.
You never know. Always keep your options open. Obviously, the toughest team to make in this year's Olympics, the Canadian squad, no question about that. A lot of good players left off that list and a lot of great players on it as well. But it is still weeks away.
Well, the guys back at Sportsnet put together 10 Canadian teams. Louis, I think you made you're the taxi squad of Team J.
I would make 1,000 Canadian teams. But pretty impressive when you look at the bodies that are out there representing Canada.
Magnus Bjarvi is out there now. Here's a shot right on. Back to the point it comes. Ian Cole takes a look, fires a shot that hit Gazdic. And Luke Gazdic picks it up. Gazdic to Arcabello. And Arcabello hammers that puck in. Oilers want to get a change in. They'll send out their second line. Gagne, Yakupov, and Perron.
We talked to Dallas Aikens a little bit about this right here happening for the Edmonton Oilers. You go on the ice, you defend, you get the puck out, you get it in, you change, and it's a vicious cycle all over again. And right now starting to control the puck a little bit, getting possession, and maybe finding a way to get a puck in deep and pushing the St. Louis Blues back a little bit. They don't want to get into a situation where they're defending shift after shift. It's been a little bit of a rough start here for Edmonton. Getting outshot 8-1 right now. And they're going to have to find a way to change the momentum here quickly.
Last time they met, 33-23 was the final shots on goal in favor of the Blues. But as Louis mentioned, outshot the Blues 14-5 in that first period.
Yeah, you knew the St. Louis Blues were going to be ready in this one, as Hitchcock didn't like that first period against Edmonton last time out. Boy, have they ever come to play tonight.
Morrow behind the net. Gets some help from Lapierre, and Brizgalov once again is going to slow things down. Rogers Oilers hockey right here on Sportsnet.
Well, Kevin, for the Edmonton Oilers, they're going to be under a lot of pressure here from the St. Louis Blues. Look how aggressive the forecheck is. 2 in, 3 down low. But look at this. They get the puck. Nail Yakupov. A soft play off the wall, and the puck stays in the offensive zone for St. Louis. Tonight, Edmonton cannot have plays like that. It has to be out of the zone, and the wingers have to be stronger when they do get it. And that's that first pass mentality, off the glass mentality. Do not allow the St. Louis Blues to extend that offensive zone time.
You mentioned that when we were talking to Dallas Aikens, the idea of putting the puck off the glass, making the safe play, flipping it high, getting it out.
And for Nail Yakupov there, wants to make a skilled play, wants to make that soft little play to an area where someone can skate into it. The St. Louis Blues are a team that'll make you pay if you keep giving it back to them. Put it off the glass, get on the forecheck.
A light repair going on right now with 12:30 to go in the first period.
Yeah, right there, he just doesn't really look before he throws it, and that's that aggressive pressure by Pietrangelo on the offensive blue line. He's standing there waiting for it, not backing out of the zone, and something that I'm sure was talked to Yakupov on the bench, and all wingers for that matter for Edmonton tonight. That first pass, that first play, get it out of your zone. The St. Louis Blues will make you pay. And any team for that matter now in the National Hockey, but especially the best ones, that's what they feast on, is those turnovers.
The St. Louis Blues are second in the Central, third in the West. And this is the start of a Western Canadian road trip for them. They'll be in Calgary on Thursday. We're going to have that game for you on Sportsnet West. And then they'll play back-to-back because the Vancouver Canucks are waiting for them on Friday. Currently the 5th best road team in the National Hockey League. Tarasenko with it now. Soft little pass to Zabotka. Zabotka leads for Cole, throws it towards the net, deflected right on by Berglund. And a good save by Brizgalov. Nugent Hopkins trying to tie up Berglund. Zabotka to Berglund. 2 guys, Louis, that can play center and have been mixed and matched. Jordan Eberle with a nice steal of the pass. He'll give it to Hall. Drop pass. Schultz walks in. Schultz with a shot. Elliott the save. Rebound for Eberle. He's denied. And Elliott flat out makes the save and hangs on.
Well, it looked like Edmonton was going to get caught in the zone once again, but it was Jordan Eberle with a nice little steal in the defensive zone that starts things off. Right here, knocks it down up to Taylor Hall with speed, and a good transitional play here for Justin Schultz to jump up into the play. Lots of time to look to see where he wants to shoot this one. Doesn't quite put it where he wants to, but I like that attack off the rush, and Schultz immediately getting on the offensive.
Justin Schultz with 3 points in his last 5 games. Ryan Smith right out in front. Sitting in the blue paint, he got knocked down by Shattenkirk. Late offside coming up, and that will allow Marincin an opportunity to move the puck out.
This goes to show you even good teams can get pushed back when you get pucks to the net, get pucks into the skates of the goaltender from all angles. Again, another shot there by Hemsky, just throwing it towards the net. Create that chaos down low in the offensive zone.
It was 8-1 in shots on goal. Now that's tightened up to 9-5. Oshie. Backus wants to regroup. He'll give it to Kevin Shattenkirk, who snapped his stick on that pass for BRB. Wow, they don't build them like they used to. Sam Gagner will lead the rush. He'll give it to Yakupov. Nail Yakupov. Circling against Cole, gets by him, plays it back to David Perron. David Perron throws it towards the net. Elliott the save. He wants to get after it. He does, and he pushes it to Stewart. David Perron, of course, 340 games for the St. Louis Blues. We talked to him this morning about playing the team. Not as big a deal. The fact that it's the second game against his old team. The big one will be March 13th. His first trip back to St. Louis as a member of the opposition.
Yeah, always special going back home for David Perron. 6 years in St. Louis, his first 6 years in the National Hockey League, the only other team that he's known in pro hockey, so it'll be a special moment for him going back to St. Louis. But he says he still ribs a little bit down there on the ice with a few of the guys.
One of the guys is Chris Stewart. And David Perron never met a conversation he didn't like.
Little healthy banter as we look at the new dad, Ryan Jones. And the Oilers starting to come around here in this first period, getting shots to the net. Perron just kind of whistles it through all the traffic in front. Good screen in front by Yakupov. And for Elliott, another good save early on here. The shots that he has faced from Edmonton have been tough ones in traffic in the paint. And Luke Gazik down there having a few words
with Reeves.
I guess we expected those two guys to have words. And for Ryan Reeves coming back after a broken hand he suffered earlier in the season, they might have a little extended discussion here.
He missed 17 with that broken hand. Has the puck now, and that gives him a bump. Shattenkirk plays it around the boards. Morrow to the middle it goes. Lapierre leaves it for Reeves. Ryan Reeves stops up, lays it down low. Louis, two of the better skating fourth lines in the NHL on the ice right now.
Absolutely. Both big, both powerful, can get pucks in deep and attack with speed.
Lapierre's long shot easily handled by Bryzgalov, and he'll hang on to it. No score here at Rexall. It's Rogers Oilers hockey on the net.
Time to play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Oilers player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Rhonda Inkster of Leduc could win $1 million. Shop and swipe at Safeway and you could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet.
And right here, Gene, 9:42 to go. And Gene has some more. Sorry, Gene.
Kevin, the Goals for Heroes program proudly sponsored by Synovus. For every Oilers goal this season, Synovus will donate $400 to Ballard Place Military Family Support House. To date, the Oilers have scored 117 goals for a total of $46,800. And if you interrupt me, you also have to donate, Kevin.
Give that guy an inch, he'll take a mile.
Louis, one thing I've learned in my career, the last 14 years working with Gene, do not interrupt Mr. Principe.
He doesn't like it.
That is a career decision you're making. Still 9:40 to go in this first period. The Oilers with 6 shots. Elliott plays that into the corner. Ryan Smith, Boyd Gordon, Alashevsky up front now. Jay Bouwmeester. Tied for 11th among defensemen in points. They've got a lot of D-men who can rack up points on this Blues team. 3 guys with at least 27 points, and for St. Louis, that hasn't happened since 97-98. Bouwmeester, Shattenkirk, and Pietrangelo. Berglund trying to get it to Sobotka, broken up by Marincin. Now Petrie knocks down Sobotka, holds them there. Starting away, Nugent Hopkins chips and chases. Gets by Leopold. Nugent Hopkins behind the net, round the boards it goes to Hall. Hall trying to get it back to him. It deflects off of Berglund right to Elliott, and he hangs onto it.
Good little chip and charge there by Ryan Nugent Hopkins, and for Taylor Hall just trying to thread that one down low for Hopkins. Good defensive play. First starts it all off. He skates the puck out and then gets it in deep and follows his own charge. And you can see Leopold can't really hold him up, or else he'll get an interference call. So good puck possession reacquired and a good defensive play there by Berglund, the big centerman, just to knock that to his goalie Elliott, who holds on to it. But I like the fact that Nugent Hopkins gets his feet moving, finds some open ice out of harm's way.
Oshie. Puck rolling on him, gets knocked down. A penalty coming up to Nick Schultz as TJ Oshie went down. And the first power play of the game is going to the St. Louis Blues. They had just one power play in that game against Columbus. They'll get one here with 8.5 minutes to go in the period.
Good little puck protection here by Oshie, and if you watch the left skate, just a little bit aggressive by Schultz, and I can see the argument from him not liking the calls. He had his stick there, he just kind of maintained his position. He didn't really jam it into the skates, but it did kind of make Oshie fall down. Could have called that either way.
St. Louis went 1 for 5 the last time these teams met. Oshie with a puck down as the 4th best power play in the league goes to work. TJ Oshie being defended by Smith and Petrie as it comes back to Pietrangelo. His wrist shot through traffic gets deflected wide. Backus and Schwartz providing the screen in front. Here's Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo has tipped away. St. Louis with the 3rd most power play goals in the league. Pietrangelo snaps the shot. Great blocker save by Bryzgalov. Shattenkirk lays it down low. Backus wants to bring it back to the point to Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo will give it to David Backus. Cross-ice pass and not able to control it was Kevin Shattenkirk. He'll have to retreat. The Oilers get an opportunity to change their penalty killers. There's a minute left to go in the penalty to Nick Schultz. Arcabello, Nugent Hopkins up front As Stewart brings it in. Chris Stewart splits the defense. Here's Chris Stewart hitting the post. He came oh so close to getting his 4th goal in 2 games against the Oilers. He's got the puck again. Wines fires a blast, and this time he scores. A power play goal makes it 1-0 for St. Louis.
Well, as you mentioned, Kevin, Chris Stewart loves playing against the Oilers. He had the hat trick the last time out, December 21st in that game, and he's gone pointless in the last 5 games. So he's hot or he's cold, but the Edmonton Oilers are a team he's very successful against. Good puck movement by St. Louis, and just a shot through traffic. Everybody converging through. No chance for Bryzgalov in this one here, as Morrow does a great job to plant himself just above the blue paint. That one definitely changed direction towards the net and found its way home. Not too sure if it's Stewart that'll get credit, but he's certainly going to have a point to play.
Their 35th power play goal of the season. Now the St. Louis Blues have a 1-0 lead. Stewart gets his 14th of the year. Roy and Leopold get the assist. Tarasenko with it now. He'll go cross ice for Sobotka, off his skate and quickly back the other way comes Sam Gagner. Gagner's got Yakupov with him, drops it back, gets it again. Here's Gagner with a centering pass. Justin Schultz in deep. The puck comes to Tarasenko. Tarasenko takes a look. He's going to go one-on-one against Ferris. Yakupov came back defensively as Ferris took Tarasenko into the boards. Tarasenko has some Olympic connections. His dad played for the Soviets, the unified team, I guess it was, in 1994. Eberle drops for Hall. Taylor Hall trying to get a shot away, couldn't do it, but Eberle carries on. Nugent Hopkins to Hall, being watched by Pietrangelo. Hall comes all the way back to Marincin at the point. Slap pass off the boards right out in front, cleared away by Oshie. Hall behind the net. Hall around the boards it comes. Jeff Petrie moves to the middle. He'll give it back to Nugent Hopkins. Good pressure here by the Oilers, trying to get the equalizer. Hall is checked, but Petrie able to keep it in. Marincin takes a look through traffic. A wrist shot is blocked by Backus. Eberle on the steal, fired it over top of the net. Now it sits at the side of the cage. It does come loose thanks to Nugent Hopkins. He's checked by David Backus. Down the boards, Bouwmeester trying to get it to Schwartz. And finally, the Blues have to relieve pressure.
That was a real good pushback shift by the Oilers on the top line for them. Go out, cycle it down low, generate a few good chances on net. Elliott with a couple good saves once again.
5:18 to go in the first period. Smith plays it out to center. Jordan Leopold shoots it back in. He'd had a hand problem as well. Leopold missed 24 with ligament damage in his right hand. He was in the Olympics in 2006 for the United States. That didn't go so well. Boyd Gordon from the corner. Gordon behind the net for Hemsky. Alex Hemsky with a jump tonight. Hemsky takes a hit from Reeves, knocks him to the ice. That's a big customer, number 75.
That was a wall right there, and Alex Hemsky a little shaken up. And for Reeves, just kind of catches Hemsky watching his pass a little bit.
Smith turns and shoots, and there's Elliott the save. Jones trying to bank it in off him, but Brian Elliott will hang on to it. 1-0 the score. Rogers Oilers hockey right here on Sportsnet.
Ryan Jones was the first Edmonton Oiler out of the building Sunday night after a win against Tampa Bay. Went to the hospital, and as Louis and Kevin mentioned, he and his wife Jamie had a little baby boy. At 2:46 a.m. on January 6th, Lincoln Thomas Jones was born, 7 pounds, 4 ounces. The name Lincoln, not after the former U.S. president, but a name Ryan and Jamie heard on the radio. You can bet when this little guy grows up, Lincoln will be the president of the Ryan Jones fan club.
I guess that's what Ryan's going to have to buy him when he turns 16, too.
Sounds like a Hollywood name, too.
Absolutely.
I like it.
I kind of lobbied for Kevin Louis Jean Jones, but he didn't go for it.
Well, I'm glad everybody's doing well.
Congratulations. From the face-off, here is Gagner circling the net. Yakupov out in front, can't get it to him. Jackman had lost his stick, but the Blues able to get it out, and it is D partner Shattenkirk who will move it to Lapierre. Max Lapierre throws it in front of the net, getting there late with Sobotka. Yakupov with it now. Sam Gagner to the opposite corner. He had his stick knocked out of his hand. A 11-7. The shots favor the Blues in a 1-0 game. Tarasenko hit for Zaboka. Zaboka to Tarasenko with a shot. That's blocked. And a bouncing puck now picked up by Pietrangelo. Alex Pietrangelo. He'll wire that in. Takes a funny hop off the stanchion, but Ference is there as the Blues make changes. He'll reverse. Schultz will go down and track it. Checked by Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo jumping up from his defensive position. Alex Pietrangelo gives it to Jaden Schwartz. Oshie at the side of the net, back to the point. Here's Pietrangelo. Wait, throws a wrist shot through traffic. It sits there for Oshie. He gets tied up neatly there by Andrew Ference, and Jones able to send it down the ice. Kasdick giving chase. Pietrangelo gets there first. Pietrangelo, a goal and an assist in that game against Columbus. Here's the new dad with a shot deflected by Pietrangelo. That one goes over top of the cage. Hall on the giveaway. Off his skate, Pietrangelo gets it. And he'll give it to Bouwmeester. Quickly up to Schwartz. Jaden Schwartz with Oshie and Backus. Backhands it in. Marincin takes a look. He's got Schwartz on him. Gets the puck to Hall. Hall lays it up the boards. Here's Stewart off the bench. He'll pick it up. Shattenkirk has it now. Jackman. Magnus Paajarvi. Given a rough ride there by Jeff Petrie. Marincin against Paajarvi now. Eberle in there to help out as well. Nugent Hopkins plays it off the boards, and it comes to Eberle. He's got Hall. Taylor Hall through the middle with Eberle. Cleared away by Shattenkirk. Stewart, right in front of the Oilers bench, will backhand that puck in. Nick Schultz picks it up. Chucks it around the boards for Hall. Hall dumps it in. Going after it is Leopold. He gets there first. Ahead of Schultz. Gordon. All over Leopold. Jordan Leopold to Derek Roy. Derek Roy with his 21st assist of the year. Ian Cole now. Up the middle with off Paajarvi. And no icing on the play is Nick Schultz. Drops it there. Reeves overskated. Ryan Smith to Ales Hemsky. Hemsky dumps it in. Go after it himself. Elliott gave it away to Hemsky. Chops it towards the front of the net. And Brian Elliott has seen enough. And he'll cover it up.
If you drive on snow and ice, you don't want all-season tires. You want all-weather tires. Get Nokian's most advanced all-weather tire, the WRG3 at Cal Tire.
A little bit better sequence here, Kevin. Back and forth action by both teams, and for Edmonton making that first pass out of the zone and ensuring that St. Louis doesn't get set up. So opening up a little bit here in the latter half of this first period.
Oilers have outshot the Blues 6-4. And being down 8-1. Perron. David Perron lays it out to the middle, and it's picked off there by Patrick Berglund. Berglund will give it to Tarasenko. Tarasenko drop pass for Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo with a shot up high. Deflected into the netting.
I think that was Yakupov that gets back. Good back checking by him to catch up to Pietrangelo and deflect that one up over top of the glass. And a high-risk pass through the crease gets picked off by St. Louis. The pass from Perron. And down the ice they come. That's what good teams will do. They will make you pay, but a good back check nullifies it by Yakupov as he gets back and bails out his lineman.
Backus against Boyd Gordon. Backus wins it. Schwartz shot. Another save by Brizgalov. Jaden Schwartz. Checked by Hemsky as he flips it in. Jeff Petrie is there. And he will use the glass, and instead it goes into the timer's bench.
Well, quick chance here by Schwartz off the faceoff. Not sure how he was so wide open here as this faceoff is won, but he just jumps to the middle, and good pick in the middle there is what it was. The winger doesn't come through on the play, get in the way of Schwartz. And he's able to take that unobstructed shot right through to Brizgalov, who has to come up with a big save. So for Edmonton, a penalty on that play as well as Petrie digs in.
Jeff Petrie tried to get that puck out using the glass, but ended up missing the glass, and he gets a delay of game penalty. And the second power play for the St. Louis Blues. They're 1 for 1. They generated 2 shots. There was a goal by Chris Stewart. This one comes with a minute left to go in the period. Stewart on the ice has the puck now. Brendan Morrow gets it back to Stewart as he watched by Gordon and Schultz. Morrow, good play by Ference to break up that pass. And now Ryan Smith will try and get it by Shattenkirk. Can't do it. Derek Roy Moves in. Derek Roy with a shot. That one goes wide and racing over to keep it in. Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo to Stewart. He snaps a shot with Morrow providing the screen. Shattenkirk lays it back to the point. Pietrangelo steps into a slap shot, and there's a quick glove save by Bryzgalov as he had blues in his face in the form of Brendan Morrow.
Good tracking here by Bryzgalov. He sees his puck all the way through. Good shot by Pietrangelo through the traffic. His bodies converge. And for Bryzgalov, is able to follow this one the whole way, make a glove hand save. And a couple opportunities again for Edmonton on a bobbling puck to maybe get it out. They don't, and it generates a good chance for St. Louis on the power play.
Pietrangelo has it now. He'll play it to Zavodka. Now to Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk with a wrist shot that misses on the far side. Tarasenko back to Pietrangelo. He'll let a shot go, and that one gets deflected up into the netting.
I'll tell you, good presence again in front. And for Patrick Berglund, who had 2 goals last game versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, as the St. Louis Blues were able to come back in that one after being down 2-0 in it and eventually win it 6-2 on 6 unanswered goals, even strength. He's awesome in front of the net. He's got great hand-eye coordination, and he's that big, lanky body that can deflect pucks. This one here just a little bit high, but he has that knack for going to the net and picking pucks out of the air, as you saw there.
And you can see him on the left wing. That happened in the second period against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Zavodka was moved to the middle, and Berglund to the wing.
Crossover in Sweden.
Versatility loop.
Yep.
As the period comes to an end, the Blues get the only goal, and it is Chris Stewart who gets his 4th goal of the season, Jeff Merrick, against the Edmonton Oilers here at Rexall.
And now joined by Mark Spector.
Hey, I want to say it. It's Ukrainian Christmas today. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. To Gene. Christos Narodevshu, Gene.
Mark Slavita Yoho.
I'll tell you what, I'm fueled on the Shelka's pierogies tonight. Good Ukrainian dinner when I came here. And Jeff Petrie playing like a guy with a belly full of holopchi. This is the Jeff Petrie I want to see when you're 6'3", 200 pounds. Should this be a rare occurrence, Gene? Should you not see this every night? Maybe once or twice or 3 times. That's Magnus Pajärvi coming down the wing. It's an easy play. It's a simple play. It's called finishing a check. The Edmonton Oilers need more guys finishing checks. Jeff Petrie doing it tonight.
Well, I hate to stop you because you're really on a cabbage roll here. But let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers facing a big team like St. Louis. But did you see them sort of give some of the Blues some of their own medicine in the first?
Well, you know, we watched the first 2 shifts and St. Louis had the puck was like the Harlem Globetrotters. But the Edmonton Oilers, if they can't do it the same way, they're not as big. But what they can do is cycle a puck and move it quickly. Dallas Aiken's project with this Oilers team is to teach them how to cycle a puck, because it can't be one and done in the other team's zone. Watch this shift. They're hanging on to it. They're making small passes, short passes. These are what you call repeatable plays, folks. And what you're going to see here is a St. Louis player who's tired and makes a bad play. Right here, he's got the puck back. Oops, I'm tired because I've been chasing the puck. And now Oilers gets a little bit of their own medicine on St. Louis.
All right, nice to wish everyone a Merry Christmas in Ukrainian. Now, here's a couple of babushkas to take us into the second.
First period scoring summary brought to you by Worley Parsons Cord. Visit WorleyParsons.com/careers to find your place on our team.
14-7, the Blues outshoot the Oilers in that first period, Kevin, and Chris Stewart with his 14th goal on the power play. They were 1 for 2. The St. Louis Blues were on the power play, gives them the 1-0 lead heading into the second period. So a little role reversal from the last time these 2 teams met.
Jeff Petrie still in the penalty box. Delay of game, 54 seconds left on that. The second power play for the St. Louis Blues underway here. Alex Pietrangelo retreats back into his own zone. He will give it Jaden Schwartz. Schwartz lost it, allows the Oilers to get it down the ice. Ryan Smith calmly sends it into Blues territory. Andrew Ferentz in that first period almost played 10 minutes. The captain, 9 minutes, 54 seconds. And Martin Marincin, Louis, 6.5 minutes. I don't know if he's played that much in a period. 15 seconds of power play time remaining as it comes back to Pietrangelo at the point. He and Shattenkirk are there. Here's an intercept by Nugent Hopkins. Ryan Nugent Hopkins moving in shorthanded. Nugent Hopkins is stopped by Brian Elliott. The Oilers, with just one shorthanded goal on the season from Jordan Eberle, almost got number 2 there.
Well, I'll tell you, Kevin Shattenkirk going to the U.S. Olympic team is not a slow skater, and Nugent Hopkins just puts the Jets on here and separates, enables him to go to the backhand on the move. He shot the last breakaway that he had, and this time head up the whole way, goes to the backhand quickly. And a great save by Elliott to cut across and snatch it out of the air on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, but all created on some good defense on the penalty kill.
And that penalty is over now as Jeff Petrie steps back on the ice. St. Louis now 1 for 2 with a man advantage. David Perron against Vladimir Zabotka. Zabotka with a shot. That gets blocked by Justin Schultz. And picked up now by Gagne. He'll give it to Petrie. Petrie sends it around the boards. Gagne waiting for it near side. Comes out in front, and there is Jordan Leopold. Leopold quickly up for Zabotka. Gets by him. Justin Schultz will get to it. Neat little play to Nick Schultz. 3 shots total for St. Louis on the power play as Yakupov moves in. Snaps the shot. He scores. Nail Yakupov ties the game at 1. A minute 36 into the period. Yakupov's got 9 on the year.
Well, you mentioned it, Kevin. It was a nice little play here by Justin Schultz. With speed, goes back, gives it to Nick Schultz, and it's up the ice. A little bit of a broken play here as Bouwmeester can't handle it, and it's left for Yakupov on the rush. Gets a clean shot away and beats Elliott to tie this game 1-1. But we talked about that out of the zone quickly by Edmonton. It was one pass by Schultz. Gives the other Schultz time to make that play up the ice, and it results in a goal.
So Nick Schultz gets a helper, and so does David Perron. And Nail Yakupov has got 9 goals on the season, and we've got a tie game. A minute 36 into the period. Jones hustling. He thinks he beat the icing, but it didn't happen.
Terrible call.
Well, on behalf of the Safeway and Heinz Beans and Pasta, Donna Andres of Wetaskiwin has won a $250 gift card courtesy of Vision Electronics and Nail Yakupov. Nail Yakupov asked about not getting to the Olympic team. He was pretty philosophical about it. Lots of time for a guy that's just 20 years old. Petrangelo keeps it into the point. Lapierre behind the net. He is checked neatly there by Hunt. And then Lapierre comes right back and gets a shot away, and he scores. Max Lapierre responds for the Blues, and as he stole it from the kid to make it a 2-1 game.
And I'll tell you what, this faceoff shouldn't have even been in the defensive zone. I think it was a terrible call nullifying their calling the icing as Jones won that race to the puck down the ice. But as a result, off the faceoff, the St. Louis Blues go to work, and it's Max Lapierre on the youngster Hunt. He just uses his size to separate him from the puck and then jams it short side, and Ilya Bryzgalov unscathed coming to the net. He shouldn't be allowed to walk out right into the blue paint like that. And he is. And he somehow squeezes it home in his 500th game in the National Hockey League. Lapierre gives his team the lead.
42 seconds after the Oilers had tied the game, Max Lapierre gets his 6th of the year and 2nd goal in 2 games. An unassisted marker by Max Lapierre, and the Blues have their lead right back.
And so deflating for the Edmonton Oilers after tying this game up in this second period early on, getting dominated more or less in the first 20 minutes. They kind of stabilized a little bit in the later half of that first period. In the second, they tie, and then Lapierre, on an icing call that shouldn't have been, capitalizes. He drives it to the net and gives his team the lead once again.
Signed as a free agent in July, and a guy the Oilers are very familiar with, a real pest when he played with the Vancouver Canucks.
I think he's a pest to everybody.
Yeah, that's true. As that puck ends up going into the netting, we get a whistle.
But again, this is how this St. Louis Blues team is able to respond, and all year long they've done just this. Here's the icing call I'm talking about. Ryan Jones, look at the hustle here. As he's taking control there, gets the inside track on the puck. And there's no question he was going to get there on Cole. And then here's the face-off play afterwards as Lapierre separates Hunt from the puck, drives it to the net. Nobody really takes him coming to the net. And he's able to walk in and jam it home on Bryzgalov on the short side.
and a real education for Brad Hunt in that situation to have a big, strong player like Max Lapierre. You think you're out of danger. You took the puck off him once. He comes back and gets it away from you.
And I like the poise that Hunt's played with here. And we talked about him not being the biggest frame of guys, but you know, in that situation there, he had full possession of the puck, and I like the fact that he's not afraid to hold on to the puck to make a play, take a hit, but Lapierre just separated him quickly. It was a good job by him to recognize that he could get a piece of him at the same time separate puck from man, and then just drove it to the net.
The key now for the Oilers is Smith dumps it in is to keep that composure, Louis, like you talked about, not losing your focus because you give up a goal quickly after scoring.
Stay in the battle.
Getting outshot in that first period, but down only 1-0. It could have been a lot worse. And it stays a one-goal game. The Blues, though, are 12-1-5 in one-goal games. David Backes checked by Alex Hemsky. Lays it back to the point. Snapping the shot is Shattenkirk. It's flicked up by Gagne. He was checked by Backes. Gets another chance, and this time plays it up for Yakupov. Yakupov and Perron. Yakupov dropped for Perron. Perron takes a look, finds the trailer. It's Gagne. His shot goes high and wide. Perron still has it. Checked by Derek Roy. To the corner it goes. There's Sam Gagne. Getting away from Shattenkirk. Plays it out in front. Cole just eased it to Elliott, and he covered up.
This is a replica of the remote that inspired the big win. The original was tragically lost in a couch.
Pick your winners today with Pools.
There's a theme here for Edmonton, Kevin. Pucks that have quickly gotten from defense to offense. It's, again, Yakupov attacking, dropping for Perron, gives it to Gagne, who tries to pick a corner and just a bit outside as he looks at the twig afterwards and shakes his head.
That's the Louis DeBrusk model.
Yeah, get rid of that one.
Nick Schultz shoots it in. Elliott will stop it. Sam Gagne with 2 assists in that game against Tampa Bay, his second multi-point game of the season. David Perron with it again. He'll go cross ice. Yakupov will catch up to it. They'll have to retreat. Reeves. They'll give it to Cole, now to Leopold.
I think Yakupov was hearing footsteps there.
Yeah.
Felt he was going to get stood up.
Gagne brings it back in. Sam Gagne stops, fires a shot, and that one missed and ended up touching the netting. And we get a whistle.
And I like this line combination here. Yakupov, Gagne, and Perron. They were good last game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They created opportunities, and here again tonight, attacking with speed for Yakupov, getting up in the rush, and for Gagne, he has a couple guys that like to shoot the puck on the line. Perron up there in shots, second only Taylor Hall, I believe, in shots, and Gagne with a couple shots in that last shift doesn't hit the net, but Yakupov likes to get it away too. So that trio starting to find some chemistry and create some chances off the rush.
And Sam Gagne has got to do exactly what the team's done, and that's not get frustrated by a couple of wide shots. You get your chances. Look at Justin Schultz jump up. Nice play back to the point. Jones covering there to Ferentz. Ferentz waits. Now he'll get it to Arcabello. Tipped it towards the cage. Gazdic with Jones out in front. They bang away. Arcabello, he scores. Mark Arcabello has tied the game at 2. The fourth line comes through for the Oilers.
For the second time in 2 games or consecutive games, the fourth line chipping in with a big goal. Kevin, you mentioned it, and good work down low. Ryan Jones is jacked up here after this one here. Just good, hard hustle down low. It's Gazdic throwing it in there. Jones might get a piece of it first, but then Arcabello on the spot is able to get this puck. What a sense of mind to just kind of chip it up over top of Elliott, who's been fantastic when he's tested for St. Louis, and Arcabello ties this game with a big goal for him.
Gazdic and Ferentz pick up the helpers at 5-10. And Mark Arcabello without a point his last 6 coming in. And Luke Gazdic now has 2 points in his last 2 games.
St. Louis Blues doing what they do best, coming right back here, and a good defensive play by Marincin to put it off the glass for Arcabello, as you mentioned, missed some time with that rib injury and gets back in and scores a big goal for his team. Right here, 3 St. Louis Blues around Martin Marincin, a young guy. What do? Put it off the glass. And we talked to Dallas Eakins a little bit about that this morning. When you don't have a play, don't force it, put it off the pane. and allow your forwards to skate into it.
Well, this is the opposite of the game against Tampa Bay, as the pushback is coming from the Oilers in the second period. 3 shots, 3 chances, 2 goals. Jaden Schwartz. Quick up for TJ Oshie, cutting in against Justin Schultz. Backes out in front. Oshie plays it back to the point. Pietrangelo races over to keep it in. He'll get it to Oshie. Oshie down low for David Backes. Backes. Jaden Schwartz with it now. Schwartz to the middle it goes. Gets by Oshie. Comes to Pietrangelo. He fires a shot wide. Schultz watching Jaden Schwartz as it comes to Backes. His shot high and wide. Pressure now by the Blues. Petrangelo's shot doesn't make it through. Ference bumps off Oshie. Backes in there against Ference as well. Nugent Hopkins wants to get it out. Can't get it by the referee. Oshie takes a hit from Ference. Gives him a shot. Jaden Schwartz comes up with it. Back to the point. Pietrangelo to Bouwmeester. Bouwmeester lays it off the end board. David Backes waiting for it. The Blues able to get a change in as the Oilers do finally get it out. It's Jordan Eberle leading the charge to Hall. Taylor Hall to Eberle. He is checked by Bouwmeester. Boyd Gordon in support. The puck's still alive. Now to the near side, and it's Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith gets knocked down, and Sobotka gets it down the ice. 12 minutes, 44 seconds to go here in the second period. 16-10, the Blues lead in the shot clock, and we're tied at 2. Ryan Smith out in front. Pepsi could not get the shot away. Sobotka tied him up. Tarasenko turns in his own zone. Dishes off to Jordan Leopold. Leopold, his pass intended for Sobotka didn't work. Jeff Petrie picks it up. Petrie bobbled it. Got back in time to get the puck to Hemsky. Right up the middle. Here comes Sam Gagner. Gagner beats the shot. Great centering pass. Cleared away by Leopold. Smith was there. A race for the puck. Ryan Reeves gets there first. Play continues. Brandon Morrow. Max Lapierre. Ryan Reeves, the fourth line for the St. Louis Blues. Action picking up here in the second period. Off the stick of Hemsky and backhanded in by Kevin Shattenkirk. Hunt sends it around the boards. Yakupov to the middle. Gagner, touch pass to Perron. Look at Yakupov's flying. Perron moving in. His shot goes off Barrett Jackman. Yakupov checked by Shattenkirk. Kevin Shattenkirk. His pass intended for Brendan Morrow doesn't work, and that's coming back the other way. Well, our next score and win winner, courtesy of Safeway and Heinz Beans and Pasta, is Janice Hutchison of Fort Saskatchewan. She's won the Bradley Original Electric Smoker on the goal by Mark Arcabello. For Arcabello, his 4th of the year. Despite missing that time with a rib injury, he is still tied for 5th among rookies in assists. He's got 13 on the year. Reeves and Ference tie up. Here's Magnus Paajarvi joining Reeves along with Derek Roy. Paajarvi from the corner. Ference watching him. Sam Gagner's been out there for a while. Ference wants to relieve the pressure. Flips it out to center. Jay Bouwmeester glides back. Bouwmeester right up the middle. Derek Roy moving in. Roy cutting for the net. Derek Roy gets the shot away. Oh, that chance right at the side of the net. For Chris Stewart denied. And trying to get his second goal of the game. Paajarvi gives it to Bouwmeester. Luke Gazdic throwing hits around as Pietrangelo fires it in. Derek Roy gets to it first, plays it behind the net. It gets by Stewart. It comes to Jones. Jones flips it out. And that puck goes out of play. When we come back, the St. Louis power play to lay a game to Jones.
Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's hockey game is Heinz Beans and Pasta.
Kevin, right before we went to break, Ryan Jones is going to head to the box here. 2 minutes for delay of game as he just tries to put this one off the glass and get it out of harm's way. The fourth line's been good. You could tell by the reaction right after by Jones. Obviously not too happy with himself and hoping that his teammates can bail him out.
Third power play for the St. Louis Blues. They are 1 for 2. They've generated 3 shots with a man advantage. And a goal from Chris Stewart. Schwartz back to Shattenkirk. TJ Oshie to Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo with a wrist shot that went off the stick of Jeff Petrie. He's out there with Marincin, Gordon, and Smith. And Boyd Gordon works that puck out. Gordon and chips it in. He and Smith are going to head off. Nugent Hopkins, Arcabello. Hop over the boards, and Louis, we saw what those two have done in the last couple of games. Good chemistry since Arcabello has come back.
Yeah, 2 offensive-minded guys as well.
Oshie. Shot goes wide, and here is David Backes. Backes to Pietrangelo, gives it right back to the American Olympian. Oshie with it now. Oshie. He'll feed it back to Pietrangelo. Moves to the middle to Oshie. TJ Oshie with a wrist shot that went off the stick of Marincin and went into the corner. A minute to go in the power play. TJ Oshie off his skate, back to the point. Pietrangelo snaps the shot. Blocker save by Bryzgalov. Oshie quickly back to Pietrangelo. He'll go cross ice. Pull to Oshie. Oshie with a wrist shot up high, and again Bryzgalov the save. A jump ball handled by Oshie, but Petrie sends it around the boards. Kept in by Pietrangelo. 37 seconds to go as Backes lets it go and scores. David Backes upstairs, and the Blues take back the lead. Backes' 7th power play goal of the season.
And just a shooting gallery for the St. Louis Blues. You can see why they're 4th in the National Hockey League on the power play. Just good puck pursuit here by them. Once they get it back, they get it to the net very quickly. And here it was Jeff Petrie. They had a little chance to kind of put a little more on that, get it through, but Pietrangelo keeps it in. Gets the Backes on the half wall. He walks it off. And he's always possessed that wicked wrister from that area. Beats Bryzgalov up over top of the shoulder for a 3-2 lead. So 3 successive chances in a row. They eventually capitalize and get back the lead.
17 goals on the season for David Backes. Alex Pietrangelo gets the helper. And Pietrangelo has 29 points on the year. And the St. Louis Blues have their 2nd power play goal of this game. Paul throws it towards the net, deflected by Elliott up high, pop off a glass. Now the Oilers putting some pressure on now. It's Jordan Eberle, side of the net for Gagne in his skates. And back the other way comes Berglund. Berglund, Bouwmeester, Tarasenko. This is Tarasenko to Berglund, out in front. Great poke check by Bryzgalov as he goes old school on Patrick Berglund. Paul brings the puck in. See if that gets some electricity into the Oilers right now. It's Eberle, sharp angle shot. Elliott takes a peek, but he makes the save. Ilya Bryzgalov, little bit of Johnny Bauer Russian style.
Well, Kevin, you know what? We just got a little information from our own Gene Principe via Twitter from a fan. Said, you know what? That goal by Lapierre looked like it went through the side of the net. And you know what? It fooled all of us. But if you look closely here, beside Bryzgalov's right skate, the side of the net right beside the post, look at that puck go through the mesh into the net. So this was not a goal by Maxime Lapierre to make it 2-1 at that time. So you have to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. And the St. Louis Blues got a little luck on that one there, as that one did not get detected.
Louis, you tell me the puck never lies. Maybe the hockey gods will reward the Oilers before this one is through. As Gagne to Yakupov. Yakupov circles the net. He had Cole all over him.
I gotta tell you, this is the best I've seen Yakupov skate all year long, I think.
Morrow going after it against Justin Schultz. Derek Roy in there as well. But Schultz gets it to Perron. Throws it to an open wing. Picked up by the captain. Ferentz gains the line. He'll chip it in. With 7.5 minutes to go in the second period. 20 Blues shots, 12 for the Oilers. And an icing call against the Blues.
Well, one thing the Edmonton Oilers, Kevin, have been able to do here in this game is when they do get down, they've been able to generate chances, get back into the game, and stay in the battle. And for Dallas Eakins, talked a little bit about that this morning, not getting away from the game plan. You start pushing, especially when you're behind. You start to open up, and good teams will make you pay. For him right now, he wants his team to feel that pressure in tight games and be involved. And they're doing a pretty solid job of it here, have been able to stay in the battle. And you know what? Might take, he said, to the 57th, 58th minute, but stay in the battle. Don't get away from the game plan.
Now they got outshot in that first period and came back in the second period.
Pro Hockey Life, the ultimate hockey megastore.
The Oilers with 2 goals on 12 shots against Brian Elliott. Brian Elliott gave up 2 goals on 24 shots against Columbus on Saturday to win his 6th in a row.
Well, you know, we talk about broken records, and it was Ben Bishop last game for the Tampa Bay Lightning, 8-0-2 in his last 10. This guy here, Brian Elliott, 8-0-1 in his last 9. He's been fantastic for the St. Louis Blues. 3rd in the league in goals against average at 1.85, 6th in the league in save percentage at 928. You know, one of those guys that took a little bit of time to kind of find his game. 28 years old, originally drafted by the Ottawa Senators, spent a little time in Colorado before coming to St. Louis, and now has really settled in and was picked up for that backup role. But boy, has he ever stood in there and played some solid hockey, and is now the guy I think they're going to lean on here with the way that he's played.
Yaroslav Halak, who was named to the Slovakian Olympic team, 17-6-3, but he has been battling a flu bug that has kept him out of the line. And this is a review perhaps of that goal.
Well, there's nothing they can do about it now, I don't believe.
But they have to check the net to make sure.
Check the net to make sure that. So, thank you again to that fan on Twitter, I guess, from the Edmonton Oilers for at least notifying them that there was a mistake.
So the folks back in Toronto saw that as well, and now at least the net has to be repaired if it is broken at all, but there's no question at all.
Now, if that would have happened before the whistle, Kevin, if that would have been found out before the whistle, before the play had started up again, then I think that it would have been fine, or before a goal was scored, then they would have been able to go back and not count this goal to Max Lapierre. But this one here, because it's under the blocker, you can't really tell. It looks like it slides short side on Brizgalov, but it actually goes through the mesh, right to the right of the post. You see it kind of go right through that plastic barrier in the bottom of the net. And they're taking a real hard, long look at the net right now to make sure that that doesn't happen again. How it got through there, it's amazing to them when you look at that plastic there in mesh. But the puck does do some mysterious things on the ice, and I think it went through the end. I think it went through the end of the plastic and then eventually through a little slit in the net.
1 in a million, Doc. 1 in a million.
There's been, some odd goals scored this year.
Ilya Brizgalov has faced 21 blue shots. 6:51 left to go in the second period. Boyd Gordon will line up against the guy that scored that controversial goal, Max Lapierre, and Lapierre wins the draw. Brizgalov handles that shot from Kevin Shattenkirk, and we will face off again in the Oilers zone. Gordon and Lapierre will do it again, this time from a scramble. It is Gordon who wins the draw. Hunt gets it around the boards for Smith. Smith looking for Hemsky, broken up there by Piarbi. Brad Hunt has Piarbi bearing down on him, gets the puck out. Aaron Jackman. Hemsky tips the puck in, but Barrett Jackman is there again. Jackman goes right up the middle for Lapierre, pushes it off for Reeves, got to deal with Nick Schultz. The fourth line wants to get a change in, so Schultz will have an opportunity to get it to Hunt to the middle, off the stick of Arcabello. And that's going to be icing against the Oilers.
I think that pass was meant for Ryan Smith wide, not for Arcabello coming up through the middle, as the Oilers were in the midst of a change. So were the St. Louis Blues, trying to get fresh bodies on the ice. But because Arcabello just redirects it, can't handle it on the backhand side, it'll be a face-off to the right of Ilya Brizgalov.
And it will be Arcabello against Zabotka. Zabotka gets down low. Here's Tarasenko's shot, and he scores. Zabotka won that draw against Arcabello. And the Russian Olympian gets his 14th goal of the year.
Boy, did he ever get this one away quickly. And again, a face-off goal for the St. Louis Blues. And we've talked a lot over the course of the years how important face-offs are and always have been. But it just seems nowadays good teams have these set plays where guys are looking to shoot it immediately and they can really get it away quickly with the new sticks. And there, no wind-up at all for Tarasenko. He just kind of zips it and gets some good wood on it, or graphite for that matter, zips it by Ilya Bryzgalov, his countryman, for a 4-2 lead.
Sabotka had won 86% of his draws in the first period. He was 6-1. He wins that one and gets an assist on the goal by Vladimir Tarasenko, who's got 9 points in his last 7 games. 13:57, the time of the goal. That has given the Blues a 2-goal cushion. Leopold gets the assist along with Sabotka. And for Jordan Leopold, his 3rd assist of the year, but again, he's only playing in his 15th game, having missed 24 with a damaged hand. The Oilers have some work to do. David Perron behind the net. Yakupov and Gagne out there with him as Oshie flips it down the ice and went off Perron's stick, so no icing on the play. 5 minutes left to go in this second period. Gagne, Schultz on the fly. Justin Schultz could not center it. That puck just would not settle down for him. Oshie from Bouwmeester, got by him. Everly keeps it in for Yakupov shot. Straight up and tipped aside by Pietrangelo. Chipped down the ice. Ferentz in a race with it. James Schwartz takes it right in front of Bryzgalov, and he will backhand it down the ice. It tipped off Bouwmeester, so no icing on that play either. As Everly takes Bouwmeester to the boards. The Oilers, in their second of 3 meetings against the St. Louis Blues, the second straight here at Rexall. These teams won't meet again until March 13th. That game in St. Louis. The Oilers will play Pittsburgh and Sidney Crosby on Friday before heading to Chicago to play the Hawks on Sunday. Bryzgalov pins that against the side of the net, and he will get a whistle with Derek Roy right there. We'll take another look at that controversial goal when we come back after this break. Max Lapierre, too legit to quit. His 6th goal was for reals.
It was. You know what? Upon further review, optical illusion, we thought this one went through the side of the net. But if you look at the white stripe of Bryzgalov's shirt, you'll see the puck sneak through between the body and the post, and where we pick it up with our eyes in the mesh, so it looks like it goes through the mesh. They checked that mesh very vigorously. That one stoppage of play, they went looking for a hole. They couldn't find one. And our people down in the truck did a great job.
Absolutely.
Of finding that puck squeaked through a legit goal.
Yep. And it's a 4-2
so no
game.
controversy.
No controversy. The goal comes at 2:18, unassisted marker for Max Lapierre. One of 3 goals scored by the Blues in this period that has 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in it. Third line on the ice now for the Oilers. Ryan Smith, Boyd Gordon behind the net. Jeff Petrie pinching in against Brendan Morrow. Back at the point. Here's Hemsky covering up. That's a shot goal. It was blocked by Barrett Jackman. Derek Roy wanted the puck. Brendan Morrow, the former captain of the Dallas Stars, he runs in to Ales Hemsky.
Tell you what, Hemsky's been physical. A couple of good hits by him tonight. Like to see it.
Maybe that'll be his role with the Czech team.
I think when you represent your country, you'll play any role they want you to.
Here's Yakupov trying to split the defense. He runs into Jackman. Perron with a shot that goes wide. Gagne gets it to Perron. David Perron. Sharp angle shot. Derek Roy sends it around the boards. Justin Schultz able to keep it in for Perron. Perron worked over by Jackman. Jackman lost his stick. Perron gets tripped up by Derek Roy. Play continues, and then a high stick from Pujärvi to Yakupov. Play continues. Backus against Justin Schultz. Ferentz with a puck now. Reeves working him over. Things starting to get physical. The later stages of this second period. Jaden Schwartz trying to push it back to the point. There is Yakupov. He can't get it by. Down on one knee, trying to freeze the puck. Schwartz in there, digging it free, gets it to Pietrangelo. He shot it in. Schultz plays it around the boards. Jaden Schwartz keeps it in for the Blues. Schwartz looking for Oshie, checked by Perron. David Perron will use that glass and get it out to center. The Oilers want to get their top line on the ice. They'll get an opportunity now. David Perron's dead tired.
Andrew Ferentz is having trouble getting off the ice here. Something's happened to his skate.
Shot by Schwartz, handled by Bryzgalov, and that will allow the captain to get to the bench.
And he wasn't happy. He was trying to get the referee's attention, saying, listen, I can't do anything here. I can't skate. My blade's on the ice, so obviously it's dangerous for everybody else because there's a blade somewhere out there on the ice that they might step on as they're coming down the ice. And having a conversation right now with Brad Meyer saying, hey, why wasn't it whistled down? And he didn't feel it should be. He felt he should have gone to the bench or got there the best that he could. But here's where he loses the blade. As he goes down, he gets up and somehow is able to claw himself back into the slot area. And that's where he tried to have that conversation saying, hey, listen, we get this whistle down, but play went on. And he didn't like it too much.
No optical illusion there. The blade was missing. 1:44 to go in the period. Nugent Hopkins wins the draw. Petrie around the boards. Eberle waiting for it near side. He is checked by Patrick Berglund. The Oilers do get that puck out. Hall giving chase against Leopold. Does get it to Cole. Cole, he is checked. Eberle brings it back in. Nugent Hopkins with it now. Nugent Hopkins delivers to Petrie. Petrie, wrist shot. Blocker save. Eberle right at the side of the net. Picked up by Cole. Cole gets it to Berglund. They can't get it out. Good job by Hall to get it in. Now Berglund an opportunity to move it out. He is checked by Eberle. Eberle gets dumped. Play continues. And it's offside as Eberle, who was knocked down, couldn't get up in time to clear the zone, and Hall's pointing that out.
The Oilers still looking for their first power play in this game, and they're hard to come by here as they felt they were getting a little bit raked over the coals there in that last shift. Give the top line of Edmonton credit here. They've kept their feet moving. They've kept going. And right there, the little slew foot by Berglund as he gets the left skate on the heel of Jordan Eberle. Jordan Eberle's not a diver. This is a guy that doesn't go down too often. Will battle for every loose puck. Felt there should have been a call there. Anytime there is a leg in behind that punches the heel out of an opponent, it's typically called, but that one missed, and they're still not too happy about it. Dallas Eakins even getting into the mix here.
The Oilers yet to have a power play in this hockey game. The Blues have had 3. We're under a minute to go in the second period. Bryzgalov plays it around the boards for Justin Schultz. He's checked by Magnus Paajarvi. But Perron carries on. He'll go rink wide. Nick Schultz chops it in. Hemsky trying to bat it out of the air. Reeves comes up with it for the Blues. Off the boards. Too far for Paajarvi. Schultz. Justin Schultz. He gets knocked down by Lapierre. Reeves throws it towards the net. Deflected off the side of the post. Bryzgalov had it covered. Reeves keeps it in. Now chopped out and down into St. Louis territory with 20 seconds to go in the period. Bouwmeester finds Reeves. He will just hammer that puck in. Morrow's going to give chase against Justin Schultz, who chops it to Perron. David Perron takes a look at the clock, rims it around the boards, and hit the referee. It stays in. Now Justin Schultz is going to get the last touch, but a frustrated bunch of Edmonton Oilers see the second period come to a close where they had 2 goals, but the Blues got 3. It's 4-2 after 40 minutes. We'll be back with more after this timeout.
First and second period scoring summaries brought to you by Worley Parsons Court. Visit worleyparsons.com/careers to find your place on our team. Chris Stewart, as mentioned, had a hat trick when these two teams last played at Rexall Place, started the scoring, and then it was back and forth between these two hockey clubs. It is St. Louis 4-2 after 2 periods of play, but it is not the last goal, but the goal on the part of Max Lapierre that has many gone. What? Including Mark Spector and myself. We thank Twitter for kind of getting us into the mix, at least to look at it, but it's been very weird. I've never seen a goal like this or a non-goal like this.
Well, that's right. We both cover a lot of hockey, and I've never seen a replay lie to me like this replay is about to lie to you guys. out there. I want to thank everyone on Twitter for pointing it out. I want to tell you, I was wrong when I said this wasn't a goal. There's Lapierre, puts it in, okay? Now we're going to see a replay that shows clearly, watch the puck now. It's off Brizgalow's back. Watch it. It's dropping into the net right now. No question that's a goal, right? Okay, watch this replay. This is an optical illusion. Where's the puck? Is it coming through the side of the goal?
Wow.
Oh my goodness, it still looks like it's coming to the side of the goal. I spoke with Chris King in the War Room in Toronto. He said they've looked at it many times. The NHL has their own camera inside the net that gives them even a better view of it. Absolutely no question it's a goal. Absolutely no question. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Yeah, one of the off-ice officials told me as I was coming up here, it rolls off his arm and down, and that's what it eventually looks like. So we should give the referees some credit because they called it right off the bat.
Dead right. I was wrong. They were right. The War Room got it right, folks. This is how it's supposed to work.
All right. Do we have? We don't have time for Martin Marincin.
Good player. Made the Slovakian Olympic team. One of the kids the Oilers have coming. Making Petrie play better, I got to say.
All right. We do have time for him. And we got time for these two guys. Louis and Kevin, enjoy the third.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Martin Marincin played 13 minutes and 11 seconds through 40 minutes. And as the guys mentioned, on his way to the Olympics. And the Oilers have a period to come back against St. Louis. They have done it twice so far this season. That is come back, win a game when trailing after 40 minutes. And that's where they find themselves right now, down by 2 as the third period is underway. TJ Oshie leaves that puck for David Backes. Backes throws it towards the net. Jaden Schwartz lays it back to Barrett Jackman, but he can't do anything with it. Andrew Ference chops that puck out. Speaking of ice time, how about Andrew Ference? 17 minutes through 2 periods. The Oilers trying to win 2 in a row, and the St. Louis Blues trying to make it 3 straight on the road and 6 straight overall. Pietrangelo being watched by David Perron as it comes to Berglund. Berglund under pressure from Gagne. Pietrangelo. Berglund checked by Yakupov. Perron going after it. Bouwmeester takes him into the boards. Zavodka stops, and he'll start down the right side. Dish to Berglund. Berglund chips it in. Martin Marincin. Near side, stopped up, knocked down by Zavodka. Stick came up and caught Zavodka. Accidentally, nobody saw it. Play continues. Here's Tarasenko. Tarasenko goes to the net. He gets knocked down. And Vladimir Tarasenko behind the net is now favoring his right arm as he makes his way to the Blues bench.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's liking this too much and having a few words as he goes by the bench. Good play by him to drive this one to the net. And as he goes through, you can see him getting caught in the mesh. Just holding off the defender with one hand. Good strong power move to the net by Tarasenko. And as he went in, not too sure where he hurt it, but looks like he's going to be okay, giving a few nods to the trainer on the bench.
Sam Gagne will take this draw against Max Lapierre. And the Oilers do win it, and skating away with it is Jeff Petrie. Petrie dumps it in. He's going to head to the bench. The top line is out there for the Oilers now. Long pass for Magnus Paajarvi. Paajarvi. He's that puck, take a strange hop off the stanchion. Maybe I should stop saying strange because it seems to happen a lot.
Kind of a big hit thrown by Ryan Reeves as well in the offensive zone.
Here's Pietrangelo, checked by Nugent Hopkins and Hall as the puck ends up in the corner. Reeves with it now. Reeves across the blue line. He'll send that puck around the boards. Dave Bouwmeester, sharp angle shot. Stewart steps into a blast, and that one goes wide. Gets by Bouwmeester, but both teams want to make changes.
That was a rocket. Stewart didn't miss by much.
Stewart with 4 goals in the 2 games so far against the Oilers here at Rexall. Lets that puck go by. Gasson. Race for it. Bouwmeester gets there first. Pietrangelo with it now. Pietrangelo. To Roy. Out to Morrill. Justin Schultz strips him of the disc. And Schultz skates away from Morrill. To Jones. Jones gets it in, but Schultz Would have been offside. Ian Cole eases it down into Oiler territory, and another change coming for the Blues. The Oilers are going to get their third line out there. Ryan Smith goes cross ice for Boyd Gordon. He is checked by Oshie. Leopold back to Cole. Cole off the boards, intended for David Backes. Backes will give it back to Ian Cole. Quickly up. Leopold snaps the shot right on. Bryzgalov the save, and he'll hang on.
Cotswood Interiors. Everything a furniture store should be. 25 years of inspiring selection, complimentary design service, and quality you can trust.
Minutes, 32 seconds to go here in the third period. The St. Louis Blues, along with the Detroit Red Wings and Chicago Blackhawks, 10 Olympians each. And Louis, you wonder when the games conclude how those teams are going to be with all those guys coming back and having to get back into NHL action.
You know, Ken Hitchcock talked a little bit about that this morning and said that he doesn't feel it's really going to be that bad for the players. Just the emotional games that they'll be playing over there will get them psyched up to play for their country. When they come back, they can jump back into the schedule. And he just thinks because they have rest, it is a shortened tournament, they do have rest along the way, that he feels it'll be good for him. Anytime you can represent your country, it's a positive thing. And here's a guy right here for the Oilers that'll be representing Slovakia. And he'll be teammates with the St. Louis Blues, Jaroslav Halak. So a couple guys that probably already know each other through the runner of the National Hockey League and through the system.
And the advantage they have is the Oilers' last game is on the East Coast. They will play the New Jersey Devils. So Ales Hemsky, Anton Belov, and Martin Marincin will leave from the coast and save a little bit of travel time at least. Oshie with the puck now. TJ Oshie against Andrew Ferentz. Ferentz strips him of the puck, but then he hit Backes with it. Gagne in there to help out. We'll get it to Yakupov, get it right back again. Off the end of his stick, and in frustration for Sam Gagne as he slams his blade to the ice. Backes backhands it in. Marincin takes a look. 25 shots for the Blues, 15 for the Oilers. Lapierre, long shot. Bryzgalov makes the save. He'll hang on.
Dangerous play there for Taylor Halls. He just kind of takes a little bit of a skate to build up some speed, and as he gets this puck, it's Lapierre that's waiting for him, but has his head in a swivel, sees it coming, and kind of aborts the mission trying to come up the wall. This is where Taylor Hall's gotten a lot better. You can see at the last second, he has his head up, he sees Lapierre coming. Now Lapierre does turn the puck over, and I think a lot of times that's the defenseman's responsibility there to look up, see if there's something in that lane. It's a lot to process in a quick period of time. But a good job of Taylor Hall to at least get out of the way and not get crushed along the wall.
Everly to Hall. Hall, drop pass for Nugent Hopkins. Didn't work. Reeves picks it up. Ryan Reeves to Lapierre. Reeves, PRV, wrist shot. And that didn't make it through as it hit Nick Schultz. Gotta like the matchup, though, right now. It's the top line is out there against the fourth line for the St. Louis Blues. Petrie. Now the Blues make a change. Schultz dumps it in. The Oilers will get a change. That puck was knocked down with a high stick. St. Louis with 4 goals. They average 3.56. That is second in the league. Their goals against is 2.27, third best in the league. So Ken Hitchcock has this team firing in all cylinders. Their first half of the season, their best in team history.
Yeah, pretty remarkable when you look at some of the teams the St. Louis Blues have had over their franchise history, and you know, a tremendous start this year to the season for them.
Schwartz. Give that puck to David Backes. Backes across the blue line, working one-on-one against Marincin, and Marincin does a good job as that puck is deflected out.
If you're looking for commercial insurance or risk management services, contact us to see what the power of insight can do for you.
Sigh of relief for the Edmonton Oilers as that puck deflected out. He's been shot out twice in this game, once by Jeff Petrie, once by Ryan Jones.
Yeah, a little shoot.
Here's a giveaway. Stewart Wrist shot, and there's Ferentz to get his stick in the way and send it up into the netting.
Just forcing a little bit there by Justin Schultz, trying to find that pass across seam. And, you know, the Oilers came out in this third period and did the right thing. Started to get pucks in deep again. Establish that forecheck, finish some checks, try and get some offensive zone time. They haven't got a whole lot. The Blues have done a good job at getting pucks out of their zone quickly, as has Edmonton. So nothing really gotten going by either side so far in this final frame.
Boy, wins that draw. Back to Ian Cole. He'll send it around the boards. Brad Hunt pushes it to Eberle. Eberle, Hall, Nugent-Hopkins back on the ice. Nugent-Hopkins tips it in. Bouwmeester gets to it first. Morrow trying to dig it free along with Eberle, and it's Nugent-Hopkins who comes up with it and takes a shot that rings off the post. Schultz keeps it in. Great work by Nugent-Hopkins to find that puck and then still get a shot away.
They hit that bar last game exactly the same spot, I think, against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Great little steal, nice little move to find a shooting lane and zip it.
He had an assist against the Lightning. He's got 3 points in his last 5 games coming into this one. Andrew Ferentz chased back into his own zone by Patrick Berglund. Arcabello to Smith. Smith with Ferentz jumping into the rush. Hesitation shot by Smith, hoping that Ferentz would get there for the tip.
That was definitely a shot pass.
Here's Cole. He'll dump it in. Zabotka. Can't get to it. Schultz around the boards for Arcabello on the far side. He'll give it to Gordon, quickly to Smith. Ryan Smith controls. Trying to get that puck in. He was stopped by Tarasenko. Cole off the boards. Right to Tarasenko. Vladimir Tarasenko goes cross ice, but Berglund was offside. Rogers Oilers hockey from Rexall Place, right here on Sportsnet.
Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You could win a week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Resorts and Spas, courtesy of redtag.ca. Shop and swipe your club card at Safeway today, and you could be our next lucky winner.
Gene, there's 12 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in regulation time. The Oilers, in the middle of a 3-game homestand. Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins will be here on Friday. For St. Louis, it's off to Calgary for a game Thursday that you'll see on Sportsnet West. Perron with the puck now, checked by Reeves. Lapierre to Kevin Shattenkirk. He will throw it in. Lapierre for Piarvi. Magnus Piarvi sees it go by him. Reeves hustles over. Checked by Nick Schultz. Piarvi digging for it as well against Nail Yakupov. Now Gagne in there. The puck is still alive. In the trenches, it finally comes free, and it's picked up there by Hunt. Brad Hunt will give it to Nick Schultz as the Blues make a change. Hunt gave it away to David Backes. Backes, bailed out is Hunt by Ilya Bryzgalov.
And Backes gave a little tap after. Said, nice save, thought I had you beat. Already a goal in the night for Backes, his 17th of the season. And he's always, like we talked about, possessed that great quick release here, just kind of picks it off. And for the youngster, Brad Hunt, just trying to make a play. Good pressure again by the St. Louis Blues. And this time Backes just steals the puck, walks in, has a lot of time, and didn't quite elevate that puck enough to get it over top of the glove of Bryzgalov.
Brad Hunt certainly wants to thank Ilya Bryzgalov, because remember, he had his pocket picked against Max Lapierre, and that puck ended up in the net.
Yeah, a little bit of a learning curve here for young Brad Hunt, and obviously the pressure from the St. Louis Blues builds throughout the game, and you don't feel like you have a whole lot of time and space because you don't. And eventually that's what they bank on, is you're going to make a mistake with the puck. When you do, they're going to capitalize on it. And a good bailout, as you mentioned there, Kevin, by Bryzgalov on the youngster.
Leopold takes a hit there from Mark Arcabello, who's closing in on 70 hits for the season. Patrick Berglund got that centering pass from Ryan Smith and starts away for Zabotka. Zabotka drop pass Tarasenko, and he ripped it just wide. Zabotka turns, fires a shot. Bryzgalov makes the save, reaches out, grabs the rebound, and hangs on.
Your summer is about to get a whole bunch better. Wake surf like a pro behind a 2014 Mastercraft from Martin Motorsports.
Ales Hemsky, Louis, you talked about him getting banged up in this game, has left the game for precautionary reasons. He will not return tonight.
Yeah, he took a couple big hits, and he was very physical himself in this game, and something he's always been willing to do throughout his career. Not the biggest guy, but takes hits, gives a few, and tonight he did both. And feeling the effects of a heavy St. Louis team.
The Oilers have an off day tomorrow. They will practice at 8 a.m. on Thursday, and then take on Pittsburgh on Friday. Now Berglund and Nugent Hopkins do a little jawing.
Yeah, I think it was Tarasenko first that he got involved with here, and still having some words with Berglund and Nugent Hopkins. A little frustration coming up for him. He's been harassed pretty heavily by the St. Louis Blues. Here's one of the hits we talked about with Ales Hemsky. It's Jaden Schwartz, not a big guy himself, but gets up high on Hemsky, but he did have a real heavy collision with Ryan Reeves. And this is the one here where Reeves comes down, watching the puck a little bit, follows through. Good clean hit, didn't finish high on Hemsky, but that's a big body that Hemsky ran into early.
Reeves is 224 pounds. So the Oilers down a forward as we close in on the halfway point of this third period. Arcabello, Gazdic, and Jones out there now. Bouwmeester flips it high, waiting for it to come down is Stewart. Ferentz lays it around the boards. Justin Schultz. Pass for Jones gets by him. Leopold. To the middle it goes, and here's Derek Roy to Brendan Morrow. Morrow sends it around the board. Schultz gets there first. He'll come to the near side for Gazdic. Can't get it out. Ian Cole able to keep it in, and then Ian Cole shot that puck out. And we will be back to Rexall Place right after this.
Quick card, Edmonton Minor Hockey Week had a kickoff press conference today at Rexall Place. Involved in it was Jesse Joensuu, as the tournament takes place January 10th to 19th. Someone who actually played in the tourney was Jay Bouwmeester. His Millwoods team won the Pee Wee title 2 years in a row. His team then, with Oiler colors, went on to the Quebec Pee Wee hockey tournament. He's now a St. Louis Blue after a oil change of jersey.
Amazing coming around that press conference today on the same day he gets named to the Olympic team. I don't think the bigger ice surface is going to be a problem for him.
Well, I imagine he probably logged a lot of ice time as a Pee Wee as well. Lungs to burn.
Taylor Hall against Ian Cole behind the net. Cole takes it off number 4. Hall not moving. We're a little bit upset about that. Gave him a whack. Back the other way comes Everly. Everly, Nugent Hopkins with Hall. Nugent Hopkins trying to feed it through. It hit Pietrangelo. Waiting for it is Schultz. Justin Schultz behind the net. Nugent Hopkins is there. Ryan Nugent Hopkins back to the point. Marincin thought about the one-timer. Gives it to Justin Schultz. Schultz down low for Hall. Hall spinning to get away from Pietrangelo. And Bouwmeester. Hall with it now. Dealing with Bouwmeester as Backus plays it past Jordan Everly. He got it to TJ Oshie, who flipped that puck down the ice, and that took a real, wow, that looked like a 60-degree wedge.
Stopped in. Wow.
Gagne trying to center it. It went off Derek Roy right to Yakupov. Yakupov back to the point to Marincin. Marincin gets around Morrow. Then lets a shot go. Gagne trying to deflect it home. Perron from the corner. Here's Sam Gagne to Jeff Petrie. Jeff Petrie through traffic. Yakupov banging away, and it's Brendan Morrow who comes up with it. Pietrangelo bounces it off the glass and down the ice.
Boy, a couple real nice shifts in a row by Edmonton, buzzing the top line and the second line go to work down low. And that one by Petrie found its way through to Elliott and stayed in the blue paint for a little while afterwards. And all the St. Louis Blues could do in the last couple of shifts was rip it off the glass to get out of harm's way.
Now let's see what this line can do. Arcabello joining Smith and Gordon on the third line. Shattenkirk will send that puck in. Boyd Gordon gets to it first ahead of Patrick Berglund. Nick Schultz can't get it by Tarasenko. Gordon checks him. Here's Hunt. He'll play it off the boards for Arcabello. Chips it in. Gordon going after it. Shattenkirk gets there first. Takes a hit from Gordon. Hunt to Arcabello. Rips it around the boards. The Oilers want to get a change in Under 7.5 minutes left to go. The Oilers down by 2. Barrett Jackman content to hold the puck there. Tarasenko from behind his own net. Spins as Arcabello heads off for a line change, and the top line is going to be out there again for Dallas Eakins. This is Eberle with Hall. Eberle. He and Backus go down as Nugent Hopkins works against Jaden Schwartz. Eberle knocked down by Oshie, but gets the puck back to Ferentz. Good job to keep it in. There's a shot. Here's a rebound, and it just got by Nugent Hopkins.
Nugent Hopkins got popped from behind there by Schwartz a little bit too. Thought there might be a call on the play, and good shot through traffic. Another juicy rebound by Elliott up the slot.
Hall flips it in. Elliott leaves it behind the net for Jay Bomeister. He'll get it to Jaden Schwartz. Schwartz uses the boards, gets it out. Gagne knocks it down.
The Oilers are buzzing right now, Kevin.
Here's a giveaway. Backus backhand, and that one goes wide as Sam Gagne turned it over to David Backus, who's had 2 steals in this period. Magnus Bjarme brings it in against Schultz. His shot gets deflected up off the stick of Gagne, but he gets it back again. Lets the shot go. Brizgalov the save, and he'll hang on.
Well, Edmonton with a real push back here against St. Louis, trying to cut the lead. And here's the hit by Oshie from behind on Jordan Eberle. I thought it should have been a penalty as he knocked him down from behind, and the numbers goes right to Ferentz. He gets it through, and there's that big rebound we talked about again. And the Oilers still looking for their first power play in this game. They've been hard to come by for them. And Eberle roughed up a couple of times in this game.
Bjarme backhand for Lapierre, turning and taking a shot as Reeves. That goes wide. Lapierre back to the point. Leopold shot through traffic, and that hit Boyd Gordon. 5:51 to go here in the third period. It's Rogers Oilers Hockey on the net. Outstanding play, outstanding results are brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
We're going to go back to the goal by Arcabello in the second period that tied the game 2-2 at the time. Good work by the fourth line to get the puck in deep, get it to the front. Watch Mark Arcabello just have the poise to corral this puck, chip it up over top of Brian Elliott to tie the game. First goal in a while for him, and a big one at that time.
His 4th goal of the year, and it comes at 5:10 of the second period. 5 minutes, 43 seconds left to go in the third. The Blues by 2. Reeves keeps it in for Lapierre. Lapierre and Marincin tie up. Gordon in there as well, along with Magnus Bjarme. Bjarme comes out of the corner with a puck. Lapierre. Reeves as this line keeping the Oilers bottled up in their own zone. This is Lapierre with the puck now. Here's Magnus Bjarme to Lapierre. Lapierre. Marincin's lost his stick. Gordon has the puck. Jeff Petrie wants to try and get it out on the near side. And finally, it is Ryan Smith who does get it out to center. Jordan Leopold shoots that puck right back in. Both teams get a change in. Perron, Yakupov, and Gagne out there now. As Petrie, hard pass off the stick of Perron. He's hustling as Barrett Jackman gets there first. Leaves it for Kevin Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk will give it back to Jackman. Patrick Berglund moving in with Sobotka. Chips it in, but it's Justin Schultz who gets there ahead of number 17. Berglund got it back again. Ferentz calmly gets it to Perron. Perron got bumped into by Jackman. Perron didn't see him. Berglund to Sobotka. Sobotka looking for Tarasenko. Sobotka with it now. Sobotka plays it to the middle. Here's Ferentz to give it to Yakupov. The Oilers getting it out. Yakupov. He has a goal tonight. He got the Oilers offense started at 1:36 of the second period. His 9th goal of the year. Tarasenko looking for Sobotka. Good play by Eberle to chop it away. Jay Bomeister hammers the puck around the boards. Hall directing traffic. Hall checked by Schwartz. Shot in by Backus. Oshie, Schwartz, and Backus. Eberle. He can't get the puck out. Pietrangelo moves to the middle. Pietrangelo has got Hall watching him. Let the shot go. Didn't miss by much. And this is what Dallas Eakins was talking about, Louis. You get tied up in your own zone. You get worn out. You don't have a chance for any offense.
Yeah, you don't have any gas left in the tank when you do finally get it out. The Oilers, a little bit of defending there on that last shift. Couldn't get the puck out, but no real high-quality chances against. But then again, the big line has to change because you mentioned, Kevin, they're out of gas from defending.
Arcabello. He has taken the spot of Ales Hemsky in the absence of number 83. Out for precautionary reasons. Took a couple of hard hits in this hockey game. Cole. Smith. A little help from Gordon. Derek Roy in there as well, but time not on the side of the Oilers. 2:38 to go. Cole's stick is snapped in half. Stewart can't get it out. Good job by Petrie to keep it in. Here's Gordon behind the net. He'll play it around near side. Bryzgalov still in the net. Smith, now Bryzgalov heads to the bench. 6 attackers. David Perron hucks over the boards. Nick Schultz changes as well. Justin Schultz comes out. The net is empty for the Oilers. Arcabello will give it to Petrie. Has to wait. Ryan Smith clears the zone. Petrie brings it in. Petrie lets the shot go. It hit Cole. Yakupov in there as well. Gagne, Everly, Justin Schultz, Jeff Petrie. Here's Schultz at the point. He'll give it to Perron. Perron with a wrist shot. And that was blocked by David Backes. Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo on the ice now with 1:44 left to go in the game. Hall winds up in his own zone to Sam Gagne. To Nail Yakupov. Throws it towards the cage. Elliott holds onto it. The Oilers will get an offensive faceoff. The game review is brought to you by The Brick. Nobody beats The Brick for furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
Well, in the first period, it was the Blues that opened the scoring up, and you see the record 24-1-3 when they do score first. And Nail Yakupov, his third goal in his last 4 games played. He's back on track this year. And the Blues' controversial goal, the Lapierre goal that we thought wasn't a goal, was a goal, wasn't. Eventually, it was confirmed that it did go in. We showed the video replay. And TJ Oshie down on the ice in a lot of pain right now as he goes up the ice beforehand. You see him turn, and it's a knee-on-knee collision with Taylor Hall. And just inadvertent as he kind of switched directions, went right back into Taylor Hall, and the fist pumping on the ice is telling me that this isn't good for TJ Oshie, who was just named to the U.S. Olympic team.
TJ Oshie leading the team in assists. He is one behind Alex Steen for points. He's got 37.
And you could see it hyperextend there to that degree as he had his leg extended out.
On the play of the game is brought to you by Rogers, bringing fans the fastest speeds in more places. Rogers LTE.
Well, it's going to be the goal by David Backes, his 17th of the year in the power play in the second period. That made it 3-2 and stands as the go-ahead goal. Just walks it off the half wall and zips her by Ilya Bryzgalov. The captain coming up big on that power play goal.
TJ Oshie has gone to the Blues locker room. 1:34 to go here in regulation time. The Oilers' net is empty. Gordon wins the draw. Schultz from the point. Nugent Hopkins gives it to Hall. Hall back to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins. Schultz one-time shot. That is blocked. Everly sends it through. Nugent Hopkins with it now. Hall's got it. Taylor Hall being watched by David Backes. Backes knocks that down. Nugent Hopkins keeps it in for the Oilers. Hall with it now. Hall around the boards. Nugent Hopkins. It gets by him. And the Oilers will have to regroup. Nugent Hopkins winding up with 1 minute to go in regulation time. Sent down the ice. This will come back. No icing on the play. It was tipped. And the Oilers start away with Gagne. Gagne shoots it in. Shattenkirk around the boards for Tarasenko. Tarasenko to the middle it goes. Here's Zabotka. Zabotka with an empty net defers to Berglund, who fires it in and seals the game. Patrick Berglund makes it 5-2 for the Blues. It's the 13th time this season that they have scored 5 or more goals in a game.
An valiant effort here by Edmonton late in this game, putting the pressure on. Good job by Tarasenko to get this puck, take a couple strides, find Sobotka up the middle, and he just dishes it wide to Berglund, and he puts it into the wide open net to seal the deal. 5-2 here for the St. Louis Blues, but a different story here than the last time these two teams met. The Oilers have battled right to the end here. Outshot greatly 30-18.
Tarasenko gets the other assist along with Vladimir Sobotka on the 7th goal of the season for Patrick Berglund. And the St. Louis Blues will win their 3rd straight on the road and 6th straight overall. The goal coming at 19:27. And the referees are going to let the time wind down, and the St. Louis Blues have taken both meetings between them and the Oilers here at Rexall Place. The final score in this one reads the Blues 5, the Oilers 2. They've now won 30 games on the season.